One thing that retirement offers is the opportunity to relax and enjoy your free time in ways that simply weren't possible before. Many people find that they're busier than ever, because given the extra time, they soon find ways to fill it. Exploring the world beckons for many retirees, keen to discover new cultures and see new sights. India grows in popularity every year, and there is a huge range of options for visiting a country that offers modern cities and picturesque beaches, as well as stunning wildlife and incredible food. We spoke to Amrit Singh from TransIndus to find out more.
I was born in Burma, grew up between Calcutta and Yangon, and then came to the UK at the age of 10. I returned to India as an adult and lived there for a number of years, working for the Oberoi hotels, which gave me tremendous exposure to the tourism industry and the way in which it was conducted at that stage for overseas visitors.
My role in the company is basically to look at all the communication that goes in and out of the office, all the documentation that is sent to clients. And a big part of the role involves looking at post-holiday feedback, good or otherwise. And since I've been involved in the sales part of the business for several years, I also look at specialist group tour holidays as well, mainly in the Indian subcontinent.
The very basic aim of the company was to show India at its very best to overseas visitors. We wanted people to see India and to experience the real India in a relative amount of luxury, but not completely sheltered from the realities of India. And I think we managed that perfectly well for our clients. Clients who travel out with us and return tell us that they've enjoyed the experiences. It's either been an experience of a lifetime or something that they want to go back and discover more. So they enjoy the process, and I think we do well.
I've always thought that I would land up working in tourism in some way. My parents were both airline pilots in India, and from a very young age we used to take every opportunity to travel, either go off on a weekend somewhere from Bombay or jump in a plane and spend long weekends in Delhi or Calcutta. And we also took the opportunity of our 6-week summer holiday to spend weekends backpacking in Europe and driving through America. And those are some of my favorite sort of childhood memories, traveling, exploring. So it's always something I've really enjoyed doing. And it almost seemed like the perfect thing to do is to start working in something that you enjoy.
We would cater for all ages, but we find that the majority of our clients are older. They now have time on their hands, and they can devote it to the discovery of places like India. You need to spend a good 2 or 3 weeks when you're traveling, just so that you can experience a number of places when you travel out to India. So the majority of our clients tend to be slightly older.
I think a perfect holiday should have a mix of things. It should be interesting. It should allow you to get an experience of the culture, the food, natural landscapes, and good accommodation. I find the older that I get, I seek nicer accommodation. When I was younger, I think I was happy to stay in a youth hostel, but I've experienced in the last couple of years, I like the luxury of nice hotels. And I think TransIndus has spoilt me a little bit as well, because when we go off in recce, we do tend to stay in some nice hotels. We
do 2 types of tours. The majority of our clients know what they want to do, and they want tailor-made holidays. So we'll explore their interests, their ideas, and we'll create a tour for them. And the other kind of tour we have is a group tour where we've picked the highlights of any one destination and we've molded it into a tour we feel people will enjoy. On both sides of the fence, our tours are guided. If you're in a group, you will have an escort that travels with you, and the escorts are hand-picked for their knowledge of the destination, of the cultural knowledge, the history and the background of the region that they're traveling through. They will also have a tremendous understanding of the kind of clients that they are accompanying, and they'll take care of tiny little details of clients' needs and make sure that those are delivered. When you're on a tailor-made holiday, we will handpick our clients for the historical aspect or the cultural aspect or a particular interest of yours, be it military history or be it nature or be it wildlife. We'll pick somebody that has the right background so they can appreciate the client's interests and the client can ask them informed or deep or knowledgeable questions, and the two of them can interact. So our clients will get the best of a guide pertaining to their interests.
Holidays have become more important to us because we've obviously got much more time to spare, and we try to do at least one long holiday a year now, if things being better than they were. Yeah, so one holiday a year, big one, and a couple of smaller ones. We have been to India twice, and we enjoyed both of them very, very much. It was a difficult decision to go to India because when you realise the poverty that goes on there, you know, I was very nervous about going because I was wondering whether I could actually face up to the poverty. But certainly TransIndus put our minds at rest, and it was absolutely fantastic. I can't sort of say, you know, much more about it, because I mean I can say lots more about it, but it was so fantastic. That's why we went again, and with TransIndus.
I think it's very important to see how other people live, what opportunities they have, and it's very important for our general understanding of each other that we travel to other countries. I did an exchange program in Denmark about 10 years ago, and going from sort of Bombay to rural Danish countryside was an absolute eye-opener. I wanted to run away every day of the first week that I was there, but it grew on me, and I really enjoyed the rest of my time. So I think it's really important. It teaches you about yourself. You also learn a lot about the country that you visit.
When you're traveling out on a group tour, especially on a long haul group tour to a place like India, you're going to meet with like-minded people. Everyone's made similar choices to go out to a particular region or to go out to a particular destination, and you will all have similar thoughts and ideas in mind, and it's the meeting and interacting with other people from home, but in a place where you're all relaxed and you make amazing friends. We have had groups here where the entire group has gelled very, very well, and they've gone off onto a second, a third, and a fourth trip together as a complete group, and that for us would count as a success. We enjoy that part very much.
One of the very silly moments I enjoyed in India was when we were on a coach tour. It was 30. There were 13 of us, and our guide, who is a wonderful, wonderful guide, he says, "My name's Devinder, call me Dave." So he was known to us as Devinder, call me Dave, throughout the whole trip. He wanted to look for some tonics to go with our gin that we were having in the hotel, and they're quite difficult to get hold of. So he took me into a shop with him. We got out of the coach to go into a shop to buy some tonic waters, and the coach was forced to go ahead by the traffic behind it. And when we came out of the shop, we saw our coach disappearing down a road, and so Devinder, call me Dave, got into a tuk-tuk and pulled me in with him and said to the tuk-tuk driver, "Follow that coach," which is something that you always see in films, but you never quite do it yourself.
Join us after the break for more information about holidaying in India.
India, a timeless and vibrant destination for people who want to be amazed. TransIndus, UK's leading India specialist, has been arranging tours of India for 25 years. Whether you stay in luxurious palaces, modern 5-star properties, or elegant boutique hotels, our planning ensures you have a holiday of a lifetime. We incorporate must-see sites with hidden gems, so you gain an authentic taste of India. Don't you deserve the best India has to offer?
Welcome back. We've been talking with the experts at TransIndus about the beautiful country of India. From the bustling metropolitan areas to the tranquil serenity of vast landscapes, it offers a wealth of potential. We're speaking to Penny Calley about her experiences there.
I think first-time visitors, it's better to go to Rajasthan on a tour bus. I mean, I don't mean with sort of 30, 40 people, and TransIndus don't do that. They do sort of maximum of 12 to 14, and they try to, I think they put you with like-minded people. And Rajasthan is probably the best way to start a tour of India. There are some beautiful, beautiful places, and of course the Taj Mahal is included.
Most first-timers will want to see the Taj Mahal because it's spoken of so much. And then after that, I think people will want to see a bit of Rajasthan. So I think that's a good sort of first-time visitors, that's a good combination of things to do. But the south is very interesting as well. I think the south is nicer in terms of natural landscape, wildlife, walking, that sort of thing. You know, the wonderful thing about India is that there's something for everybody there. So depending on what you like to do, it's quite often not that difficult to suggest something that you can do any time of the year as well, you know.
Ranthambore in Rajasthan is one of the oldest national parks in the country, and it is very, very famous for tiger sightings, obviously. So those who are not very keen on nature and wildlife experience and who are really looking for tigers, they would always, you know, if they're visiting Rajasthan and North India, they would try to incorporate Ranthambore. But apart from that, there is a huge variety. You find leopards in Rajasthan, especially in the area near Udaipur. There's an area called Kumbhalgarh. There in the mountain ranges you find leopards, and again, apart from obviously tigers, you have plenty of other, you know, wildlife that you can discover. But the main attractions, I would say, would be tigers and leopards.
There are some good wildlife parks where most people are attracted to because of the tiger. But there are also a whole host of other animals and birds that you can see. So my suggestion would be to get on a flight to maybe Bombay or Delhi and go straight into the heartland of the country and then spend between 3 and 4 days at each park. So you get to do you know, morning and afternoon game drives. You get to go on birding walks. In some of the parks you can take a canoe ride. In some of the parks you can even walk if you dare. So you know, that I think is an interesting mix of things to do.
The favorite place still remains Taj Mahal. I know everyone says, you know, Taj Mahal is the highlight, everyone sees it, but for me, I've been to Taj Mahal a number of times, but each time I go there, it's different, you know. Just the experience, and whenever I was being with a group, I go there, explain about the monument, and then let them be there on their own. Because once you've seen the site, it is to take in what it really offers. It's a different feel to it, with lovely gardens. You just walk on your own and experience, so it still remains one of my favorite sites. You know, though everyone knows India, you know, Taj Mahal is you know, associated with India, but yeah, it still remains my favorite place.
The Golden Triangle, if you like, the one place in the world that comes up to expectations is the Taj Mahal. Nothing can over-exaggerate, if you like, the Taj Mahal. So the Golden Triangle The other thing is trying to get to a town perhaps out of the usual tourist routine to see something about life in India, about ordinary life in India.
I think I've always enjoyed visiting Kerala. As a child, I grew up in northern India, so I knew Delhi and Rajasthan and the surrounding places very well. Hometown was Amritsar, so that will always be close to my heart. But Kerala was something that I discovered as an adult, and I do enjoy Kerala very much. The luscious backwaters of Kerala, the greenery, and just the very, very serene, calm pace of life in Kerala.
I think Kerala is so special because it's very green, lush paddy fields, beautiful swaying coconut palms, lots of waterways all around, houseboats, where you can explore the small backwaters, as they are called. It's a perfect honeymoon destination. I think it's a very romantic place to be, but it's equally good for a family vacation. And sometimes we've had sort of 3 generations, grandparents, parents and kids, going off to Kerala on a holiday where they can do interesting things like spend the day with an elephant, where you get to bathe an elephant and ride the elephant, and it's good fun for kids and everybody else, really.
I must say the backwaters of Kerala are an absolute delight, with all the water hyacinths and the rice boats and the calm, the birds, the animals and the people. Absolute delight, and I would love to go there again.
The exciting thing is that the possibilities are endless, that you can put together any sort of combination, really. Challenges sometimes can be the time of the year. For example, school holidays are in August, which is not the best time to visit most of India because it's the southwest monsoon, and rain tends to be several days at a time, very heavy, so it really can impact sightseeing. So that's one challenge I sometimes come across. The other would be budget. People often think that they can get a lot for their money, and most destinations in Asia are getting more and more expensive each year. So I think that is sometimes a challenge as well, to manage client expectations about what they can get for how much they want to spend.
You have a huge variety of experiences, on offer, right from religious places to cultural sites, to history and architecture, even wildlife. So you have everything. And normally, when you say Rajasthan, people would immediately think of its vibrant culture, forts and palaces, and of course the greater desert. But Rajasthan has a lot more to offer. I mean, there are cities which have completely unique characteristics. For example, Jodhpur is known as the blue city. Jaipur is the pink city because of the sandstone used. Jaisalmer, which is in the greater desert, is the golden city because of the color of the sandstone there. And Udaipur is the city of lakes. So it's not just a very sort of drab and arid part. It has lakes, it has mountains, it has a very, very rich bird life and wildlife. So yeah, it's very, very comprehensive.
It's important that the tour company or the travel companies does some sort of work in that area. By its very nature, some of the holidays that we do to more remote parts of the country help local communities, because people come and visit or stay in a village where there is a nice hotel or a resort, but they will go and visit the local school. They might make a contribution there. They might visit a local cooperative, and where women are sort of maybe sewing clothes or making lace or something like that. So I think it's very important that the tourist gets to see and get some contact with the local community. Otherwise, what ends up happening is you only meet tourism professionals at the hotels or your representatives or people at the airport. And I think it's quite important to have that contact. You know, if you're a villager from Devon or a farmer from Devon going into Rajasthan, you'd like to meet a farmer there and see, you know, just compare notes about how things are done there and in rural Rajasthan. I think it makes it more interesting for the client as well.
There are a lot of recommendations really from, you know, what to eat, what not to eat, what to do and what not to do. Particularly with, that's my personal, you know, when I've been with a group, I've let them, you know, eat at the hotel for the first couple of days, and you know, and not eat heavy food, and especially if possible not to eat Indian food to start with. I know everyone gets tempted to, but if they give themselves a couple of days, they get used to Indian surroundings. And after the third, fourth day, we just let them indulge, because by then they're used to it. We've never created a balloon around them that this is not to be done and this is not to do. They're there to experience India.
In this country, what I see is a lot of people travel a lot when they are retired, as compared to what I see in India. Retirement in India tends to be more about looking after your grandchildren, and it's a very family-oriented time of life, really. But here I think it's nice because people have saved up, they've paid off their mortgages, and most people tend to use their money to travel on 3 or 4 holidays a year. So I think that's quite a nice thing in Europe, because you don't have any responsibilities anymore, and then you can take the time to travel and discover more places. So I think that's interesting.
Since I've retired, holidays are important to me. For one reason is that when I was working, I travelled a lot, so I got in the habit of travelling. I tend to get footloose. Secondly, retirement enables me to go to places and see people that I would have had less time to see during my working life, to expand my experience.
It's a time of life people have looked forward to. We all work amazingly hard these days, and people have worked hard throughout their lives. They now have the time to indulge in their passion, and if travel happens to be one of your passions, or discovery of other cultures, then it's an important way of now reconciling the freedom of choice that you have without the burden of work life. It's a time when you can really come into your own, and I think people enjoy that.
It's a wonderful state of life, and it's wonderful to be able to go and travel and see the world, and I feel very fortunate to be able to do so.
Retirement can be a time of adjustment and launching a new phase of life. For others, it's more of a natural progression. Finding new activities and interests can be key to making your retirement a great adventure to be relished. The world holds countless unexpected experiences and undiscovered horizons, and retirement is the perfect time to attempt anything you've always wanted to do.